It's going to be a big one, Daddy. And it just reminds me, back when I was a kid, SummerSlam 1989 was the big one. You can easily go and watch this show and notice right from the bat that it is a promotional tool to basically push Vince McMahon's movie with Hulk Hogan, No Holds Barred. That was released in early June of 1989. So basically they brought Zeus in to play his character from the movie and act like he wanted revenge. Like, you know, in the movie, I didn't get to go over. They spoiled it for you. Right off the bat, they tell you Zeus doesn't win in the movie, but he's going to win in real life, and that's why we all wanted to see SummerSlam 1989. Basically, Zeus made his debut on Saturday night's main event. Hulk Hogan was booked in a cage match against the Big Boss Man for the WWF Championship, and right before the match, Zeus appeared on the ring steps as Hulk Hogan was coming down to the ring and basically attacked Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was not big enough, he was not strong enough to fight off Zeus, as basically he just hammered down on Hulk Hogan from above him. They had him up on the ring steps, which when Hulk Hogan came up to him, made Zeus look like he was 10 feet tall, pounding down on Hulk Hogan and basically beating him up before, you know, Hogan had to go into the cage match. This was one of my favorite matches when I was a kid. Basically, it came on one of the Hulkamania tapes. It was Hulk Hogan versus Big Boss Man in the steel cage. And Hogan, even though he was attacked by Zeus before, it was able to fight off the Boss Man and able to find a win in this match. That would lead us to Zeus attacking Brutus Beefcake before SummerSlam, and that's what built the whole thing together. Hogan and his best friend Beefcake going up against Zeus and the Macho Man, two of the guys that Hulk Hogan was feuding with big time. Of course, you know, you could go back to Hogan beating the Macho Man at WrestleMania 5 when the Mega Powers explode. You know, Macho Man had sort of gone into the wacky land, and he was calling himself the Macho King at this time with his queen, Sensational Sherry, and they had sort of, you know, made some sort of a group together where they were out to destroy Hulkamania. So SummerSlam 1989, you have Hogan going in there. Beefcake was a star, but it was easy to see that Beefcake, you know, really didn't have, you know, what was needed to get the job done. This was an awesome, you know, big time style of match. You could easily see that they were making Zeus out to be a big deal. Everybody would know that, you know, well, I guess not everybody would know unless you knew, but in Zeus's shoot interview and Zeus's interviews you can find around the internet, the story at this time was to make No Holds Barred a really, really big deal. They wanted people to go out to the movies to see it. They wanted people to buy it on VHS. They wanted, you know, there to be an easy transition for Vince McMahon to get into the movie business. As everybody knows, it didn't really go that well. And it took a long time for Vince McMahon to back another movie. Of course, everybody knows the WWE Films franchise that's going, I was going to say going strong, but I don't know if it's really that much. But in this, they made Zeus out to be, you know, a big deal. It wasn't like they just got him into a match and they were like, all right, let's have Hogan beat him and then it's over with. The plan was to get Zeus to headline with Hogan at SummerSlam Survivor Series and get him all the way to WrestleMania and do the one-on-one big deal. Somewhere along the way, they pulled out on that, and it ended up being Hogan versus Warrior, WrestleMania 6. Easily one of the biggest WrestleManias to date at that time. Actually, you look at the undercard. The undercard's not great. Hogan versus Warrior was one of the biggest matches I had seen as a kid. It was almost related to as when I went and saw Cena versus Rock. I mean, it was to that proportions. Two baby faces going in there. The Intercontinental Champion, which was a huge deal in 1990, going up against your WWF champion. So, kind of good thing that they pulled the plug on it. But who knows what it would have been like if it would have gone all the way to one-on-one. Hulk Hogan versus Zeus there. But in this match, basically it's just, you know, Zeus just beating down on Hogan, and every time you keep seeing that Hogan's going to you know, prevail in this, just Zeus finds that extra power to just beat him down. Before this match debuted, basically to sort of, you know, slam up high into Macho Man's face, the ring announcer announces that Miss Elizabeth is making her way down to ringside, and she's going to be in Hulk Hogan and Beefcake's corner, you know, as the manager, cheering them on. Of course, you know, Hogan, I guess, won Miss Elizabeth, you know, at WrestleMania 5. You know, Macho Man went, you know, full on heel after that, you know, joining up with Sherry, just sort of saying that there's no joke in everybody's mind. You know, basically, I don't know if it was up to Macho Man, but Miss Elizabeth was basically getting phased out, even though she was one of the biggest stars in WWF at this time. I don't know if that was something that Macho Man wanted to do, but it all came down to it that the Macho Man wanted to cheat with Sensational Sherry. Sherry, you know, had thrown her shoe in the ring, and then she was trying to hit Hulk Hogan with her loaded purse with the brick inside of it. And basically, you know, she got in the ring to break up the 3 count as Hogan was pinning the Macho Man. And she stood over Hulk Hogan like this for like 3 seconds. She could have hit him and broke up the pin at any time. Basically, she just sort of... she miscued when she was supposed to jump in the ring. Best thing about it is that Sherry's got a weave in, and the thing falls off about halfway through, and as she's running around the ring, the thing's hanging on by a thread on the back of her head, and it's just funny. You can see her stocking cap and her real hair all tied back. Great stuff here. You know, as the match ends, of course, Hogan, you know, is about to fight off Sherry because she was about to hit him with the loaded purse. So basically, he grabs a hold of Sherry. Miss Elizabeth picks up the loaded purse and knocks out Sherry, and she looks like the big winner. Zeus, of course, would stay with WWF. He'd make it to the Survivor Series of 1989. He did promotional work, looking like he was going to be in the Royal Rumble somewhere along the way. They must have got the idea for Warrior and Hogan because Warrior and Hogan had the big stare-off in the middle of the Royal Rumble, and they must have known how big that whole deal was going to be. And we never saw Zeus again until he came into WCW. It was a fun SummerSlam. Definitely not one to really, you know, go out of your way to watch. Definitely SummerSlam 1990, 1991, 1993. Those are better shows. But this was a fun one from my past. Always fun to dig up your childhood on the WWE Network. Peace out, everybody.